Okay, call the meeting to order. First thing is to discuss possibly approve minutes of August 13, 2024 special meeting.
Roll call.
Oh, now let's do a roll call. Why not? Thank you.
Lori Bradshaw,
Here.
Charles Trammell,
Here.
Troy Shropshire,
Here. Okay, now discuss possibly approve the minutes of the August 13, 2024 special meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Oh, motion made and seconded. Discussion. No discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes. Okay, number 5.
Stand by. Courtney, we're getting reports that the mics are barely working. Can you turn them up or?
Oh, I can't turn them up. I don't have the knowledge for that. Is anything blocking your microphone?
No, it's right here, right in front of me.
Mine's. Should I turn mine more?
Joy, it
towards
might be that
for
you just have to talk louder.
Okay, I can do that.
Someone said if you can't really hear Troy very well, just let me know.
Okay, I'll talk louder. Okay, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce 2024-2025 letter of intent. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Discussion. You guys have any questions about it?
No.
No.
Okay, call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Okay, number 6, discuss possibly recommend council action to approve the hotel motel final expense report for Pryor Main Street from 2023 to 2024. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? No discussion. Call for a vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Okay, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding Pryor Main Street 2024-2025 letter of intent. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Number 8, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding the hotel motel tax allocation distributions for Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce 40% at $32,025.29. Pryor Public Schools at 20% for $16,012.65. And the Pryor Main Street 10%, $8,006.32. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. For question, I've got a question. The $16,000 that's going to the school, what is that actually?
If I
For-
remember correctly, it is for Pryor Band Day.
Band-Aid
We
they
don't
took
do that
out.
anymore.
I know. Until it's amended, this is what the ordinance is for that.
So this is something that we'll have to make an amendment to if we deem fit?
That's what I'm assuming, so for the, yes, I believe so.
So if we give them the $16,000 and they don't have Band-Aid, do they give it back? Do they use it?
Go ahead.
Since Band-Aids ended, they use it for hospitality room and tournaments that they host,
Uh-huh.
that kind of thing.
So they use it for something else?
Okay.
So no matter what, we'll have to amend it to state that, because in code it specifically says Band-Aid.
So there's actually a part on that in the ordinance that says that there's 2,500 allocated to Band-Aids.
Right.
This-
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was thinking it was the whole thing.
That amount that the school gets, they use for anything that they deem would increase, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but basically, like Terry said, it's going to be your hospitality rooms, meetings. If they have meetings, they bring people in
Okay.
from out of town. That's what that's going to cover.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Call for the vote.
Trammell,
No.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Okay. discuss possibly recommend council action regarding the hotel motel grant final expense report from Oklahoma Freedom Flight for the Extravaganza Third held July 27th, 2024 in the amount of $5,000. Call for, entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, call for discussion.
I find it interesting that we're paying $5,000 out of the hotel motel tax for the wrestlers at the event to stay in hotels in Tulsa.
I don't deal with this, I'm sorry, I don't have any information.
Just making a
on
point.
this.
Yeah, we were looking at all the tickets and everything, the receipts from the hotels, and they didn't stay here, they stayed in Tulsa.
Interesting.
All of them.
Yeah, so we're pushing, people using Pryor and doing things in Pryor, but then we took them over to Tulsa to house them for the evening or whatever. Okay, any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Okay. Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding the hotel motel grant final expense report from the Pryor Area Arts and Humanities for Missoula Children's Theater production of Hercules held June the 10th through the 14th, 2024 in the amount of $1,300. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All right, no discussion. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Discuss, recommend council action regarding general government budget number 201 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All right, who wants to start off?
So, can we just have I know this is focusing on the general government budget, Fund 201, but can we just have a overarching conversation about the general fund, Fund 02, general fund budget, before we get into the line-by-line details?
I don't know that we can if it's not on the agenda. And this is a special meeting, so we have to strictly follow the agenda.
Okay, but we do have a major problem that we're gonna have to work out.
Okay.
And the major problem is, from all the word that we've been hearing and everything, is we have absolutely no money in the general unallocated reserve and excess funds. And I believe, I wasn't here, but the story that I've been told is that we were supposed to clip our budget at 8.3, and we were supposed to have money in that unallocated fund. Like I said, I wasn't here, but that's the word I'm getting. You guys wanna clear that one up?
That was a request of council at, I don't remember which meeting, 2 meetings ago?
2 meetings,
I had to
second.
be because you were here at the last one. That's not feasible. We attempted to do that with the blanket percentage on every account number. And that obviously had some money in unallocated, but obviously you guys know that it's not working because there's not enough money in some line items to cover the bills that we've already paid, so.
So let me go to our city accountant. Has anything changed since you said at that meeting that we had to legally budget 9.2 million, which we have done, that we should do everything to attempt to hold our expenditures to 8.3 million, not to burn into our reserves any further than we have? Right. Which would basically place the $900,000 delta into our unallocated. So here's the issue I had. Is that still factual? Okay. So nothing has changed. So I'm just going to lay it out here. It is feasible to get to 8.3 million.
Okay.
You just have to cut. And that's the elephant in the room that we are not talking about, are the drastic cuts to get to that 8.3 million. I will tell you, and I don't know what's going to happen tonight at this committee meeting, but this budget, this general fund budget, is not going to pass the council as it's presented here tonight. Because the expectation is that we would have legally budgeted the 9.2 million. We would have taken that 900,000 and put it in unallocated reserves, and then the 8.3 million would have been allocated between the departments.
I will happily give you Casell access if you would like to help figure this out with me, because
The Casell access isn't gonna help. It's looking at what our expenses are to get to that where do we cut to get to that 8.3 million? That's the issue at hand.
correct.
And I don't think that's, definitely not, your position as the accountant, I don't think is to tell us line by line where we have to cut.
No, that's not what I do. I mean, somebody probably needs to figure out how they're going to spend on 8.3. And it's really the board's collective decision to figure out where they want to make cuts.
You know, I'll complicate it even further. More than one department head has told a council member that if they see a number budgeted in this budget, that's what they expect to be able to spend. And that is just no longer feasible going forward. We're at the point where we cannot keep doing this. So where do we cut? Again, that's the elephant in the room. And to get to that 8.3 million, I think we're gonna have to start talking about personnel cuts. That's the only way we can do this. And I think what I would like to, well, I don't think, I know, what I would like to see is y'all come back to us with an $8.3 million allocation along with what you would cut to get to that 8.3.
8.3 would put us where as far as what we would
Well,
have?
technically, last year, your what I called your repeatable revenue was about 8.3 million. So technically, 8.3 would put you at a break even. I mean, things can fluctuate and change, but that would be a targeted break even amount.
And just because we have a budgeted amount of 8.3 million, if we start generating revenues that's going to let us get beyond that 8.3 million, we can overspend the budget as long as we've got the revenues coming in and it would not pull out of unallocated reserves, correct?
Well, that would be, well, you're limited to the budget. So if you have extra revenues that you want to budget, you might have to file an amended budget form with the county, which
Can you do that more than once a year?
you can do as many times as you need to, really.
Do it every month if you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to have the revenues behind it to support the filing.
Okay. I mean, I'm being honest.
I don't think it'll pass.
It will not pass the council as presented.
I had done a sort of a allocated cut by line item, and I had a $900,000.
Jeff, can you come up here to the mic? Sorry.
You can bring a chair.
Yeah, great.
Got that chair.
This time.
Okay, I had made a budget, sort of, where it's cut every line item on the budget by percent, because at that point in time, I did not know where, why, how, what to cut, and I had a $900,000 unallocated. But I was told that that wasn't, people didn't like that either.
Would that have cut into personnel? Would it?
Oh, it would have actually cut every line. Every line item that had a budget, it was reduced by whatever percentage was necessary to get to that $900,000.
Was it like 12%?
At 11?
11.
It was something like that. I don't remember, because it was just a formula. Each line was cut. Now, that 900,000, was that reasonable? Probably not. Some line items would have gone over, some may not have gone over. But you would have had the 900,000 and you would have had to allocate out of that in order to cover some of that. And it would have made the department heads see a smaller number in their line items where they could spend. But that, I was told that that wasn't really the way we wanted to go, so that's why we this budget has been presented. But that's a possibility to do that, but it would have cut every department by the same percentage, right across the board, salaries, everything. Some line items probably already would have been over budget, correct? Insurance and stuff like that.
Correct.
Things you could
Yeah.
have made.
And you could, but that was just sort of a blanket way to handle the situation and come up with a 900,000 allocated. Then the board, the council here could have gone through and said, okay, we want to do this, 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 and this. But like I said, it would have let the department heads see a smaller figure, because as you said, sometimes they see that number, that's what they're going to spend. So they would have seen a smaller number. But I mean, and I'm not saying that that was necessarily the most accurate way to do it, but that was a way to do it. And I wasn't sure. I was told that the board wanted to see 900,000 unallocated.
What would be
And
a
I think that's what the
reasonable-
council's looking for,
What
is
would be a-
getting us as close to the 8.3 million as possible.
What would be a reasonable unallocated fund balance?
Well, I mean,
You've seen our budget and you know what's going on.
yeah, well, really the reasonable amount, I mean, technically, if you don't want to spend more than you bring in, that 900,000 is what you want to have, because you don't want to spend $900,000 in order to, because if our revenues are stay at the 8.3, we want to spend 8.3. We don't want to spend 9.2.
Hey, Jeff, remember when we keep saying the 900, remember we had to add those salaries back in, so that took that to 600.
But I could have adjusted still. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but yeah.
Right.
But,
So is it a $600,000 delta or a $900,000 delta?
well, no, the amount that we have, if you look at last year, we spent 700,000 more than we brought in. Our repeatable revenue is the 8.3.
Mm-hmm.
If we have 9.2 to budget, then we have to change the 900,000. We can't spend 900,000. We need to try to live within the $8.3 million if possible.
Regardless of the 300,000 that you had to put back in for salaries.
Yes, I mean, yes.
Just
In
you
total,
have
we need to
have-
stay within the
is what you're
8.3
saying.
if we want to stay.
It's kind of a wash.
Yeah, we just need to stay within, if we want to stay under our revenues, we need to spend $8.3 million,
Yeah.
not more.
So here's my fear, and hear me out on this. To increase our revenues, we've got to get businesses in town. We've got to attract new businesses coming into Pryor to generate more sales tax. But if we continue to spend the way we are, eventually that 1% ad valorem tax is going to kick in. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but if these prospective businesses are looking at us saying Pryor is not able to even fiscally restrain itself, and I'm going to be paying higher property taxes, I think that will repel these prospective businesses, not attract them.
I couldn't say one way or the other, obviously, but if, of course, I had estimated close to 2 years before that would happen, if we didn't change anything within our spending. Okay.
You said, what would you, how, 2 years you said?
Yeah.
When the at 1% would kick in?
Well, that's when estimated reserves might go away.
Go away.
Because if we, I mean, I'm just saying, if we spent 700,000 more than we had next year and the year after that,
That's when it burns up.
yeah. Yes. No, you're right. I mean, we need extra revenue, but there are other methods. You know, there's possibility, other ways to raise revenue, but, you know,
But focusing just on the way we're raising revenue now, it's predominantly sales tax with some use tax and
Yeah.
tobacco tax thrown in.
most of your revenue is sales tax. Your biggest revenue sources are sales tax, use tax, and MUB.
And the MUB piece, but that's, yeah.
That's pretty,
So,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other thing we
yeah.
talked about at the council meeting, a couple of meetings ago, where you came and talked to us, was not hiring, continuing the hiring freeze, not hiring. And again, the council's position, I think there will be no hiring actions this year, period. I mean, it's not gonna happen. That's the mindset of the overwhelming majority of the council this year.
Okay.
So, and, if there are, and it's my understanding, there are some budgeted positions included in these numbers, they might as well come out, because that's just fluff at this point. I don't know, I'm looking at you.
I don't know, it's not my budget technically, I'm just the person.
So just point of reference, as we went through this the last 2 days, all of those budgeted positions that were open have been pulled out. And so we've taken all of that into consideration as we edited all this down. So
So there's no more,
I think we have,
Except for the necessary ones.
except for the necessary, I think there's, without saying specific names of who's left, there's very few that are going to remain open. Any that were not attached to a name or not attached to anything that just stated open, those were removed. We also edited down the, any overage or whatever may have been accumulated through a few months of not having that position filled in the meantime as well, so.
but there still are positions in here
Correct,
that are budgeted
correct.
to fill if there's a vacancy.
So, one is absolutely required, and two are technically still employed.
Yeah.
We can't remove.
On
them.
their way out.
We are still paying them.
Yes.
Where's the one, what department is the one absolutely required?
It's all in fun, it's 214 and 215, so we can get in more detail with those later in the agenda.
Okay, if you want to go line by line, I'm fine with that.
okay.
204.
Well, let's go ahead and get 201 out of the way. Okay, so we had some changes in 201. The changes that we had were actually increases in the fire insurance and the general software. So we ended up with a new total number of $596,200, or $624.72. So, anybody have any discussion on what's going on there? Past the zero fund there in the unallocated reserve and excess funds.
No, I think we've talked about everything I want to do. Just an observation that insurance is just killing us.
That
That's-
was, their bill is a little bit weird, but we got that invoice yesterday to actually plug in the correct numbers, so that's why it was a
Which one? Is that for the
Fire.
fire?
fire, yeah.
I'm just talking insurance in general, across the
Yeah.
board. It's hurting
It's
us.
high.
Well, and I'll tell you today, I met with an entity that it has quite a bit of insurance coverage on what they provide, and they were saying the exact same thing, that their fleet insurance for a number of vehicles went from 100 and some odd thousand last year to over 450,000 this year. So that is an industry-wide thing. We did talk today about presenting to the council to seek permission to go out for RFPs, to seek other insurances and get pricing on that. I think that would be the wise thing to do. I know that entity that I talked to today said that they were looking at switching, and this is just for them, this isn't necessarily for us, that would be the RFPs, go from like an OMAG to an ACO company that would provide same coverage, lower cost. Those would be things we would have to explore through the proper channels and see, but that's something that we plan to bring to the council and
Do we
start.
have any vehicles that are, let's say, not in use at this time, that we might could drop insurance on for a period?
Not necessarily I mean, we have some that are out for repair or some that we've parked temporarily, but I don't think we have any that are just sitting there. I think most of that we cleaned up when we auctioned off most everything last year.
Okay.
So I just have a really quick clarification. So we're just talking right now about this,
01, 201.
yes, 201. Like, is this gonna be line by line that we're going to be voting to send each line to the council? So
Each
like,
block.
just this block?
Yes.
So
Correct.
How will that look if we don't, I'm just asking this hypothetically. Let's say one of these blocks don't get recommended to go to the council, what does that do to the entire budget? I'm just asking this because
It has
I'm
to
not
be approved in
I'm not
its
understanding,
entirety.
like, if any of these portions don't get
Well, if
approved,
it
what
doesn't,
does that?
if one portion doesn't get approved, then the whole budget doesn't, for the general fund,
For the
doesn't get
general.
approved. Okay, now, it doesn't,
So if we don't send one to the council, then none of it's gonna go to the council, is that what you're saying?
for the general fund,
For
yes.
the
'Cause
general
the general
fund.
fund has more than one part. Now, the other funds are just one, right?
Correct. I believe they would still go to council, but I feel like it would be in everyone's best interest for those things to be, whatever amendments you guys request for whatever doesn't get approved, be corrected in another special meeting, be done before the next council
It
meeting.
would just be hard to approve
Correct.
a partial budget when the other part needs to be changed.
That's why I
Correct.
suggest.
It'll change the whole
having
total.
it
'Cause it would
come
change
back.
everything
Change the
else.
allocation everywhere.
Yeah.
So back to my original point, then can this committee reject the budget, the general fund budget, and ask y'all to go back and give us an allocated portion of only 8.3 million with 900,000 in unallocated reserves?
I mean, technically, you have the authority to either reject or recommend to council, so.
Yep.
If we,
That didn't answer the question.
Yes, you can just, well, I think you can just reject the whole general fund portion and then,
Can we do that though, since it's not the general fund? I mean, we had a general fund budget review up here in 3C that was
I
skipped.
think you actually have to reject each individual section of 201
Yeah, we would have to.
if you
do each
wanted
line
to do it
item.
that way.
You mean 201 or Fund 02 entirety?
O2.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Fund
two.
02, I'm sorry.
You're
Fund
fine, O2.
Yes, reject Fund 02 in its entirety, so I think you'd have to do it by each section, since you have it
Because it's
listed
on
each
the
section.
agenda.
Charles, that 3C, that's typically what we would do in a normal, and since we did it 2 weeks ago, that's why I wanted to get down to the,
Yeah,
since we're breaking it down.
I
So
realize
that's
that
not
after
the
that.
same,
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
If we
Same
could-
review.
If we could stave some of this off and maybe instead of 900,000, what if we were at like 600,000? Would that make it somewhat
Well, I mean,
doable? I mean, it would put off the inevitable.
I mean, I can make that unallocated anything, pretty much, but it just comes
But
from.
you have to get the numbers in the other column
Yes,
there
that's
to
right.
work. That's the problem.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the thing is, I can budget 0 for all salaries,
Oh, yeah.
But that
it
doesn't-
wouldn't it?
but that's not
It doesn't work.
right, right. So what I'm saying is the budget sort of is, sometimes there's not a relationship between necessarily what you put on this budget that gets sent to the county and then what you actually do in reality, because if we adjust some of these numbers, the council next meeting could make wholesale changes to the employment situation, and it would change all of that. And that budget then, that would basically have, be much different than what we have.
But
Yeah.
if you approve it and something comes up, then if that's in the budget, then it's been approved, so.
But see, that's the thing. Approval in the budget does not approve any single expenditure whatsoever. I mean, and it doesn't really improve the hiring or firing of personnel. It just means you could pass the budget with all the money in unallocated or none in unallocated, but you still have the same employees, you still have the same personnel. You can't unhire somebody by not budgeting their salary, right? So you still have to take action on the expenditures that you have. So any things that come before you for approval, if they tell you it's in the budget, that doesn't mean you have to approve it. If it's, the budget isn't carte blanche to spend all of it, that's why.
But that's the problem. There's department heads out there who think it is.
Well, usually they come to you on some of the smaller stuff, like supplies, whatnot, they can approve themselves, but the big stuff, they come to you, right? And you all have to vote to say yay or nay on that stuff. So even if it's theoretically in the budget, you still have to give your approval.
But if we approve it and we have nothing in reserve, then if something comes up, then we're basically,
Yep.
we don't have anything to work with.
I mean, let's be honest, if we approve this budget with nothing in reserve, we're gonna spend this budget. I mean, that's the way we've always done it.
Well, you've
Or
never
we're-
spent
or we're
your
gonna spend
entire budget.
most of it.
We spent 8.9 last year. Your total budget was 9.6.
Yeah.
So you didn't spend your entire budget last year. You never have, but eventually you will if you keep burning into the reserves.
Correct.
Right. But you've never spent the entire budget, ever. But, you know, I
But back to your point, we need to keep our spending down to our revenues.
if at
And
all
I think that's
possible,
what we've got to try to do here.
yeah.
So if we, if we put 900,000 in unallocated reserve and then allocate the remaining 8.3 across all of the departments, depending on however you want to do it, we could we not watch that number, that 8.3, and try to get, each month, just watch where we're at. And,
Yeah.
and as we get closer to the year end, if we're really well off, could we not pull money out of unallocated and allocate it, those funds further?
Well, yeah.
If we're well off, would that require an amended budget? Or can we just move that?
If you do not change the total budget, increase the total budget, if it stays the 9.2, you can move within the budget any
However
way you
you
want without amending the budget. You just have to do what they call budget transfers, generally between departments or between personal service, operation maintenance, capital outlay. But that's not a big deal. You don't have to submit those to the county.
Okay,
Only if you increased your total budget would you have to
So if
submit
we
it.
had a windfall of some type, whatever that might be,
Then you might want to file an amended budget. There's forms and procedure, and you file it and submit it to the county. I've done it a few times before, not necessarily for Pryor, but
because I don't see any windfalls popping up here, but if we had something.
I think there's gonna be opportunities for us to get our hands on additional money for the general fund this year in a variety of ways. But I had personally, I'm conservative, I had rather budget conservatively up front with the expectation that we're not gonna get our hands on that money. And we need to focus on the 8.3 million. And then in the event we do get our hands on that money, that's when we open the floodgates, if you will.
Or file.
Or file that's where we begin spending those additional funds.
I kind of almost feel like, though, you're saying, when you just kind of say how flexible this is, that either way, we want to stick as close to 8.3, even if we don't put that money in the reserves, we still could be
True.
watching it and just as a council, making sure, okay, here's where we're at, so we're not, so either way, I kind of feel like it's almost the same thing.
it is.
It's just where we put the money and what that's, so I'm not sure I completely get why it matters whether we have the 900,000 here or here. We're gonna have to watch it and make sure we're just trying to stick to that 8.3.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I was.
Yes, because really, this number goes to the county,
Right,
gets filed with the state, and that's that. Now, you're right. If he says that some of the department heads say, if I have this much, I'm spending that much. Well, yes, that's,
yes,
That is
but
possible,
we still have, like you said, on those big expenses, like, okay, well, sorry, right now we don't have that, so no. I
Well,
mean,
that's-
we have that,
exactly, yes, I
that we can
agree.
do as well,
That is,
so.
I mean, you're right, you could literally pass this budget as it is and then tell everybody no on everything all the time.
You know, I don't know I don't know which way it's best, I'm just saying.
Well, I
it
understand, but
sounds
what I'm
like
saying is
you're-
that's the way it could work.
Right,
And you would not spend that budget, you would spend a lot less.
But
So,
you still wouldn't hit that 8.3.
I don't know, it's, yeah, but, you know, and that I can't tell you.
So I know, I mean, Carrie's here, and I know that was kind of, yeah, and I know, because she had, the concern was, we want to make sure you get all your state aid. Do we need to wait till that line comes up here, or can I just, I mean, I just want to know which way would be best for her, which ways
Well, if we allocate.
is there, I mean, I just, that's a specific instance where we want to make sure she's getting all of the state aid that she can get,
If
so
we
how,
increase that unallocated to 900,000 or
Uh-huh.
whatever target amount you decide
Right.
you would like, which is in this 201, we would basically, I would say, just take it from every department equally, and therefore, if I'm not mistaken, even in our budget, state aid would not be affected because they weren't reduced by more than anybody else.
Disproportionately.
Yeah, if we took it equally from each
Yeah.
department. But, yeah, but you are right about what you said, you know, it doesn't matter if it's here or there or where, if you don't spend it, you don't spend it.
right,
The difference is if it's in there, if the full 9.2 is allocated, there is the expectation that, and they will spend up, they will do everything they can to spend to that.
and that's where we just have to be really
We've heard more
bold
than
and
once
say,
all that. We've
you know,
heard,
we have to be bolder though, I mean, we just have to say, you know, and we can't, I mean, I don't know.
we've had,
But a lot of these expenditures don't come before the council. I mean, that's,
if it's below a certain amount of money.
If it's below a certain amount.
They
Are
would
those
have
the
to
ones
go-
that really hurt us though?
Technically,
Or
they all
Add
go
up.
before council.
Well, they all
I know
come
they
before
add up, I
council,
feel
but
like
you
the
have to sign
salaries though are the big,
You have to sign them and approve them in total, right?
but it's already been spent.
Yeah.
Most of that time, it's already been paid for, so we're just signing off
And,
on it.
but,
Well,
you
and
know,
that was the discussion that I had today with one of the department heads was, in theory, that's great. But 9 out of 10 times when we get those POs to sign, it's already been encumbered. That's just now we're gonna pay for it. So as we look at that purchasing policy and the way that that's done, that is a problem in our system, is that,
Well, then you get to the next point. Are we gonna be down here every day to say, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't? And the 8 people vote on it every day.
It depends what you amend your purchasing policy to be.
But if you were gonna have to approve everything before it, through the council before it,
Oh, that would be a nightmare too.
wouldn't it be?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It still depends on what you set the purchasing
Yeah, would,
policy.
you know,
Yeah, but if you said everything, that would be bad, because you
Yeah.
would basically,
I
We
know.
have
not
limits
that we want to
for that
micromanage that
purpose.
much.
yeah, yes, that's correct.
again, I just recommend we take the conservative approach here and budget I shouldn't say budget, allocate the 8.3. I know it's gonna be ugly, but, and just as we start getting close, as we move through the fiscal year and we get close to that, that's when we'll have to start taking measure. I would love to see the 11%, the numbers you
That's what you
generated.
guys received originally in the
That's
budget
what you
policy
received
That was the
originally.
first one.
that everybody complained about.
every,
From the,
everybody
from the
blew it up.
consult,
But it worked.
Yes.
The original
Yeah.
one that you
It
guys
would
received
work,
in the
but-
packet is the one that he presented to us.
That
but
was
it had zeros in a lot of in the budget columns.
Correct, there
and-
were a few errors that we have corrected, obviously, but that is the budget that he presented with the 11% on every single line item.
Correct.
So,
And I was told that was just not well received.
all right, so let me.
Not at all.
And partly, I think it was because like it wasn't, like we knew there were certain numbers like of insurance and things like that were gonna have to be paid, but it was not even in the budget, so it was kind of like, well, why is it?
Well, we could,
That, I mean,
and we could, this would be complicated. Like, I could make it where, you know, like certain things like the insurance are factored already as being paid.
As
So-
what they're,
Yeah.
And
But
so,
then
the
and
ones
so
we
then the
know what they're
allocation
gonna
would
be.
just then be filtered out to everybody else.
So could you break it out to do non-discretionary spending first, the must pays? And then once you put those aside, then you do your percentage salami slice across all of the discretionary lines.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. It'll take some
It's
figuring
doable.
to do. Yeah, but it won't be tomorrow.
No,
Tonight?
yeah,
I may not sleep. No, I can have it probably, well, Monday's a
how long
holiday.
is our extension?
Huh? Oh, I think we'll have till, how about to the end of September? I'm leaving on vacation on September 27th? That's the deadline.
Okay,
September 27th is the deadline?
That's my deadline, because I'll be gone for a couple weeks.
That means the last council meeting before that is September 17th.
Okay, that should be
So
plenty
the real
good.
deadline for that would be September 12th.
Okay, I'll be busy. I will have an updated something or other by next week, early next week.
I think I'm good with that.
But can y'all also
All
give it a
fixed,
stab? And, I mean, just
right?
run your numbers at 8.3 and let's see where it lands.
what
but
if we, instead of doing the full 900 and some thousand, what if we reduce that by a third to 600? Would people be happy with that, you think?
No, the expectation was, walking out, is that the budget was going to put
That was very
900,000
clear at the
in.
special meeting.
But see, here's the thing, I
Expectation
mean,
and realization, though, that's two different
yeah,
ballgames.
so like if I took the percentage cut to the salaries, okay?
So what that's gonna do to salaries is, the first thing is, everybody's gonna make the same amount of money till the end of the year, and if we come in with some money, it's good. If we don't come in with some money, then
Right,
the money's out to pay people.
right, that's
Then
correct,
it's got to go back and come out of unallocated reserves.
right, or, I mean,
That's,
there are decisions that can be made during the year that could affect it one way or the other.
yeah, that's what's gonna happen. If we play along with their salaries now and pay the salaries, which
Yeah,
we'd like to do that for sure, then at the end of the year, if the money's gone, what pays the salaries?
well, I understand.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
an issue.
so yeah, the issue is, okay, now if we've cut the budget and reduced the budget, what is going to be done to try to affect the change to make the expenditures fit within the budget?
Mhm.
And if you do nothing, then it won't work.
Correct, you're gonna have to take action. You're gonna have to take drastic action.
Right. Well, some action will either be, as I've said before, cut expenditures, raise revenues, or a combination of the both.
We need a doable budget.
We need a
passed.
doable budget to pass, but
Yeah.
we need to get this.
That's why I was saying, it may not be that we have the 900 in there. If we could live with 600,000 in there, then that might be more doable.
I will work on it, or I could plug in a number for the unallocated and then allocate based upon that accordingly. So that way, if you tell me you want something else, I'll try to make it where I can just plug a number in and it works. So that way we'll see. Okay?
I'm just thinking about main thing I'm thinking about is employees. That's the main thing I'm
I
thinking about.
understand. I understand.
Absolutely, that's the first, yeah.
So, I
Do you want me,
guess
I will work the numbers?
Do what?
I will work,
Sure.
I will take that,
Let's do it.
is it spreadsheet still on, is it the one
Yes.
online still?
So, should we, table this budget until we get more numbers instead of just totally rejecting it? It's a work in progress, so should that be a table instead of a,
I don't know.
vote no? I mean, what would be the right way to proceed on this?
You table it, you're gonna have to give me a date.
Well,
Okay, how about no action?
If you do no action, then it's pulled off until it's ready to go again and we
Schedule another
schedule a
meeting.
special meeting again.
Wouldn't that be a probably better way than just to say no to it? It'd be to take no action until we get a,
Would it, I mean, do we need to do a special meeting, or could we realistically do it at our next budget meeting? Is that enough time to, no, you think it
Well,
needs to be
no,
sooner?
I think we're gonna look at special meetings for both the budget committee and the full
For the
council at
council
this
too?
point, yeah.
The next budget meeting is scheduled for the 10th,
10th.
and then the council meeting is scheduled for the 17th.
So that's 7 days after our regular.
So I'm
budget
interested, then
meeting.
that would alleviate having to have a special meeting if we did it on
But
those
if we can
days.
get the stuff
Correct.
Let's save some money.
next
So I was
week,
trying, yeah, that's what I was thinking, is
Well, we
trying to
can
get it
always-
on a regular schedule.
We,
It's where the special meetings are higher priced than the.
Right, right, so if we could just have it, the goal by the next budget meeting to have something, and then goes to
Yeah.
council.
Yeah, there's not enough time to get it to the next council meeting, which is September 3rd, so.
right, which is
Right.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right, that can't happen.
So, yeah,
Yes.
Can I offer something about the timeliness of the budget? The county clerk files all the city budgets with the state auditor. October 1 is her deadline. Because we're weekly and the budget has to be published,
Yeah.
your actual deadline for doing something is September 18th to get it in our September 23rd paper so that it can print, we can make a proof of publication that goes to the courthouse, and then they can get it to the state on October 1.
So-
Last year they didn't turn it in till November though.
So the 17th would be
okay.
doable?
18th of, we have to.
Probably need to clarify that too, what she's,
I will clarify.
By September 18th, so yeah, you can just.
So those dates should
Okay.
potentially work if we can,
so, let me ask you this, you know, the October 1st is, you said was the deadline
For the state.
for the state, correct, to get it to
The county.
the county. Can we get extensions if we need to, under extenuating circumstances?
I don't think there's any provision in the law for extensions like that, beyond that. Normally, the state statute says it was due August 25th, 27th?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 days ago.
But because the excise board does not meet until later, we have generally been allowed to let it kind of slide until, before they meet. And, but I don't think there is a provision in the law that actually says you can get an extension. Of course, I saw somewhere, someone from last year's budget was published in, was it March? It's a little town, and, you know, what happened to them? Nothing. So, huh?
Spring.
Is it?
Okay, yeah.
So can we find out if, you know, what happens if we don't meet the 1 October deadline? You know, what are the repercussions, if any?
I'll find out.
I don't want to rush this and do something sloppy.
You're right, but if we pass the budget in total, you can maneuver money within the budget at will afterwards,
As long as you don't exceed.
as long as you don't exceed the total budget. So if you budget 9.2 and you put 900,000 or 600,000 or nothing in the unallocated, and you decide you want to move something from here to there, to there, to there, as long as you total budget stays within the 9.2, you do not have to inform the county. You don't have to inform anybody other than her, so she can mark it in the budget.
If you come up with more money, then you can do
An amended
a
budget,
amended budget.
right.
Okay. Well, I think probably the right way to roll with this would probably be no action, don't you? What do you think?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So who had the motion?
Trammell?
So I'll amend it to no action.
Then I'll second that.
Okay, call for the vote for no action. And I can appreciate all the work that you guys have put in on this too. I mean, this is a major undertaking for sure.
Trammell?
Yes.
Shropshire?
Yes,
Bradshaw?
Yes.
okay, number 12. Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding community development budget, fund number 203 for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Is there any reason to go through these now if they're going to be changed?
not
No,
if he's
they're all
gonna
gonna have-
modify it again.
There are
Yeah,
gonna
if
have to
you're
be
doing
no
You
action.
might as well do no action on everything.
Okay, because one's down, the whole thing's
Right.
down, right?
Right, if
Well,
we're gonna
through
make changes
28.
If
one,
we
it's
just
gonna,
change everything, then we might as well just do no action on all of it and get it all over with at the same time.
Yep,
Okay, so, you want to amend your motion?
yeah, motion for no action.
Yeah.
Did you make the motion?
She
I
did.
don't know, yeah, but I'll,
Trammell made it, Bradshaw seconded.
oh, okay.
All right, amend to no action.
Yeah,
Okay, call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Number 13, discuss possible recommend council action regarding the planning and zoning budget fund number 205 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for no action.
second,
Motion made and seconded for no action. Call for a vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Shropshire,
Yes. Okay. Discuss possible recommend council action regarding managerial budget fund number 207 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes,
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding facilities department budget number 208 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
second,
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Number 16, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding clerical accounting budget number 209 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
second,
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Shropshire,
Yes. Discussion possibly recommend council action regarding city attorney budget number 211 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Trammell,
Yes,
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding city treasurer budget fund number 213 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
second,
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding school resource officer budget fund number 214 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes,
Shropshire,
Yes. Discuss possibly recommend action regarding police budget fund number 215 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
second,
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
yes,
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possible recommend council action regarding animal shelter budget, fund number 216 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. I'll entertain a motion.
motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes,
Discussion possible recommend council action regarding fire department budget, fund number 217 for 2024 and 2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
second,
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
yes,
Shropshire,
Yes. Number 23, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding park budget fund number 219 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding library budget fund number 221 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding cemetery budget fund number 223 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Okay, discuss possible recommend council action regarding the CEM, the emergency management budget, fund number 225 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Discuss possible recommend council action regarding municipal court budget, fund number 231 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Second.
Motion for no action has been made and seconded. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possible recommend council action regarding street budget fund number 14 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion for no action.
Can we work these since it's not the general fund?
Absolutely.
We can still pass
Oh,
these tonight if
okay.
needed,
Okay.
right?
Work
So
those.
sorry. That's good.
That'll work.
Yes. I don't. You can.
So you just want to change
I
yours
want to
from-
just make a motion to
Just change your motion
do this, yeah. Discuss.
discuss. Second.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to discuss. So this is the street budget.
Good job, Charles.
Thank you, ma'am.
Way to go. Number 14.
Page 8.
Yeah.
So while he's looking, can I ask start with a couple of questions? There's no overtime in for streets. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Yep, that was my question.
Did we have that on the worksheet, Courtney, do you remember?
no?
That was the only question I had on it.
Yeah, that's all.
So, I know, if you look at there, the 24, or the 23-24, he had 9,000. Probably what we'll do is just add that in. That's probably just something that got
Okay,
overlooked
can
on
we
that.
make that addition into there now?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna add 9,000 in, Mayor?
We can add 9,000 to that.
He only spent $4,000 and, or $4,404, so the whole nine, that'll be some extra money there.
Lisa, last year, did the brush dump come completely out of Fund 88?
Yes.
Okay, so there's potential for that to change since we moved all of the street things to the street department.
Okay. So that will change the total and everything. So the motion would be to make that change and correct the totals at the bottom.
Correcting the totals at the bottom doesn't matter. Just add the 9,000 to the street overtime, 141455013.
All right, that'll be what the motion would be.
Correct.
Further discussion? Anybody got any more?
Yeah, the 5033 asphalt materials, 0 this year. Was budgeted 5,000, expended 2168.76 last year.
I think that was his supplies. I don't think that was the actual asphalt.
Which account number was it?
50,
5033.
yeah.
We bought asphalt out of it twice.
Right, but what I'm saying is I think he moved that asphalt purchases because it was so minimal. I think he put that in the, I want to say the, which one was it that he put it in there? Let's say it was the oil and chip, maybe? I'd have to look at that and see what it was.
So you're saying, Mayor, he's still got it budgeted just somewhere else?
Correct. Also, I noticed on the 5062 line, we still don't have any number on that. That was something he wanted to make sure was,
We don't have to, that money that he's talking about with FEMA is income that we had last fiscal year that will be transferred over to the income line for his fund. It's not gonna reflect right here.
perfect.
And he's got 200,000 here, is that for, on fleet, that's 23, or 5321?
Yes, he's wanting to start putting away some money for a new street sweeper.
Okay,
So he wants to kind of start saving up a little. That's
All right.
part of why we cut back some of the projects. He's got some, we'll call it capital repairs he needs to do to some of his equipment. But also that stretch of road that we're going to do from Keel Road to Gaither, possibly to Cemetery Hill, depending on the cost. That's the primary project we're going to start on, and then also the drainage on Elliott, on South Elliott, so south of 9th Street. So he wanted to keep the projects to a minimum necessary, and then start putting away some to start fixing some of these track hose and street sweepers and things that he's going to have
He had a
to.
lot of work to do on that street sweeper last time, didn't he?
That street sweeper is, I believe he said, almost 20 years old, so the parts are starting to become obsolete. And then they had that fiasco with trying to order, and it ended up $3,000 or $4,000 part or whatever it was, ended up being $13,000-14,000, and then they had to modify it. And it's probably a wise idea that they start putting money away for that.
Right. Okay.
I do have something on 5076 Street, outside services other. That was 30,000 budgeted last year and spent, and there's nothing this year. Was that just a unique anomaly, or last year, or?
A lot of his other,
So on our spreadsheet, it does say street outside services inspection. I don't know if that helps you.
on 5076, it says inspection.
Correct, on the working spreadsheet, so.
So with the way that we structure things with infrastructure solutions and the way they do that now, a lot of those costs are included in the price, especially with, for example, Dale being billed by the job, not by the hour. And so when we talked some of that through, that was going to be all included in those prices of the projects. So just keep that in that outside or the engineering. And most of those inspectors are, I think on the last projects it was Red. I don't know if you guys remember Red, the guy with the beard. He was the one that came and him and Charles did a lot of those inspections, and they work for infrastructure solutions.
Another question I had was the street sidewalk projects, 5415. Are we gonna put more sidewalks in this year?
He's got sidewalks everywhere to go, so corrections and fixes and breaks and bends and,
Okay, so it's
So-
kinda gonna be a year for sidewalks, huh?
well, we'll see what he's got to do. But you'll notice also last year we budgeted 52, so.
All right, you guys got anything else?
No.
No.
Okay, with those corrections, no further discussion, call for a vote.
I don't think I ever got a motion second on the amending
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Do we
Okay.
need to amend our motion to,
to.
who made the
include
motion?
$9,000.
So, did I make that motion, or did?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so I make the motion that we amend that to add the $9,000 to 5013 street overtime
And approve the rest of it.
and approve the rest of it. Yes.
You want a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to add $9,000 to 5013 Street overtime, and the rest of it stands as written. Call for the vote?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Okay, discuss possible recommend council action regarding cemetery care fund budget number 19 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Call it for discussion. Everything's just under miscellaneous this year, huh?
The, it's easier to use an account that's already created that hasn't been used in a while than to create a new one. What we were able to do here is take quite a bit of the cemetery expenses and put them into this fund because they qualify for the cemetery care fund to be expended from. So this alleviated $24,000 from the general fund budget.
So that would be things like general, because that can be used for operational as well as maintenance and things like that. So
Okay.
things that were operated, operating expenses through the cemetery, fuel, oil, things like that, that would all be what we moved over there.
Okay. Further discussion? Call for the vote?
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes. Number 30, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding golf course budget, fund number 41 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. I was gonna talk about the salaries. They apparently have gone up from expenditures of $119,047.02 to what we've got down here at $172,967. So are we still employing the same people, or are we employing more people, or?
There's two full-time employees. It's Dennis and Alan.
All right. And then you'd have a mechanic too?
Not a full-time.
Okay.
Did he have somebody on there for part of the year, Lisa?
In the budget, there's still that open position is in the budget, but he has temps that do grounds. That would be in the 5011 though. But what is in this spreadsheet for the budgeted is for that mechanic that we have not replaced in a year.
So open positions were not removed outside of the general fund.
Okay.
So,
So that's basically not gonna be spent if we don't.
Correct.
It's gonna stay in that.
But in terms of full-time employees, it's him and one other.
Okay.
But he's budgeting for a mechanic too.
Golf advertising went to 5,000, which that will probably get more tournaments and stuff going, wouldn't it? Then the real question I had was, how did the utilities fall from $64,796 to $40,000?
So in January, we had best we can assume it was January, when we talked to MUB, there was apparently what looked like a leak. And we got a bill in, and it was quite substantial for water usage.
Okay.
And they couldn't, right off the bat, they weren't sure where that was. They ended up finding that a valve had been left open, and we were basically pumping city water into the river.
Okay. Okay.
And so MUB did adjust that a little bit for us, but the utilities were higher. We had looked at the timing on that. We thought maybe it was when we had those hard freezes or something, but with all that rock out there, the water would go anywhere. But the utility usage,
We don't figure it's gonna be that much this year, huh?
no.
Okay, that makes sense then. All right, and then your golf capital outlay went from 46,519 up to 175,000. So are we planning on repairing something or doing something, or what's gonna happen there? Is that bridge project or something?
Yes, but we also moved a lot of the capital outlay for him out of the 44 into there. But
Okay.
that's primarily his cart paths and bridges money.
Okay, all right. I was wondering if that was what was gonna be. Any other questions?
That was good with it.
All right, then let's call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
All right. Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding capital outlay budget fund number 44 for fiscal year 2024-2025. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
I think there, if you look at 5447, you'll see where that golf capital outlay was reduced on there, so.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Okay, your library capital outlay went from 4,828 up to 48,000. So what was that for?
We would like technology in our meeting rooms.
Okay, so that was the stuff we've already talked about, I think, earlier, didn't we?
I don't know if we've talked about it here, but, we don't have, our meeting rooms are just rooms at this point. So, if we wanted to have any kind of projection or interactive screens or anything like that, we need to buy those, and those are really expensive.
Yeah,
So-
but that's what it was for. It was for
Right.
tech.
Yes, I mean, there's some other things that we need as well, but that's the big
Okay.
budget item that's on that.
Okay. Well, good thing that's not in general budget, huh? Okay, and the fire department capital outlay, went from 23,437 up to 180,000, so is that for a truck?
We technically budgeted 179,827.50 last fiscal year. He just only spent 23.
Okay.
Yep.
And the animal shelter capital outlay, $40,000, and last year we spent 16,000. Are they still upgrading the shelter?
They have some small projects to do, but for the most part, the upgrades are done.
Okay. So that 40,000 is,
I mean, I know they're looking at putting, if I remember right, they're looking at putting some kind of coverage, not a hard coverage, but a
yeah. I know
coverage
that.
over the shelter or the kennels that they built.
Mhm.
But there are still gonna be a few little things that need to be done,
Okay.
but
So
for the
that
most part,
probably won't be spent, but.
probably not.
spared
No,
in
sir.
case we have to have it. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
All right. Discuss possible recommend, action regarding real property acquisition reserve budget, fund number 46 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. I didn't find anything in that one.
I didn't have
I
any
don't
issues.
have anything.
Okay, call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Discuss possible recommend council action regarding the recreational budget fund number 84 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. The one that we did have a question on, and I think it got taken care of, was the
Child
Child watch, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that kind of stuck out at me.
and there was $10,000 budgeted in 845-5411 that he told us today he doesn't actually need, so we removed that as well.
I think the child watch is the only thing I had
That
too.
was the really only thing that I had.
Yeah.
Okay, any other, discussion? All right, call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Discuss possible recommend council action regarding Pryor Public City Works Authority budget, fund number 88 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Okay, I didn't have anything that showed up there. Anybody else?
Mm-mm.
All right, call for the vote.
Sorry, never mind. Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Okay, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding E911 budget, fund number 91 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion, you want a second?
Second, I'm sorry, I was looking at the numbers.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. This is something we have to have for people that still have
Landlines.
landlines.
Correct.
And that's something you have to do, so.
Yeah,
that's-
and they pay us, the companies pay revenue, or some portion of their revenue to us every month.
Correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, let's call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Bramble,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes. Okay. Discuss possible recommending council action regarding Economic Development Trust Authority, budget number 98 for 2024-2025 fiscal year. All right, entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second,
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, I don't have anything either. So, call for the vote.
Bramble,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay, I know this is a good time. Does anyone, want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Bramble.
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
And they're out there waiting for us.
Yeah, we still have our